In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 near-murder experiences that I've had in my lifetime. The most recent one is the last one, and nothing shocks me like that one anytime it comes to mind. If you are with me, let's roll. What's up everybody, General D here, and before we do anything, we got to get in the time machine because we're going back in time, baby. So if you are with me, get in and let's move. Hold on, we are not there yet. So in this year, I was in primary school, primary 5 specifically, and guess who was senior prefect boy? Your boy was. I enjoyed being it totally. In my school, we had 2 assembly grounds in the morning, one for I think KG1 to nursery 3 downstairs, then another for primary 1 to 5 at the auditorium upstairs. We preferred to spread ourselves, some up and some down, while some on the assembly line too, lining up with everyone. I used to switch between both, but staying downstairs was fun, because of kids. There was a particular grown-up kid. He used to be a very annoying fellow. I should think he was in nursery 2 or 3 then. He caused trouble and frustrated some of us back in the days. And one day, I had enough. Funny or not, we preferred used to bring canes from home. I remember waiting for the person that was supposed to take me to school one morning, and I went to one of the trees in our house and I had to cut cane as a prefect. We'll cut the cane and take you to school. This young kid messed up that morning and I had enough. So on behalf of myself and other frustrated prefects, I took him to one of the empty classes during assembly, laid him on the table, and I flogged him mercilessly. When you flog someone so much that the cane cuts, what was I thinking? Anyways, it didn't end there in 2009, it got worse. I was just in primary 5. We finished assembly one day and we went to class, where you would normally think everyone is back to normal and everyone is equal. But David had a different opinion. Still drunk in power from the assembly earlier, and with my cane in my hand, we were sharing the grace to start the day. This guy, his name was Sadiq, I can never forget. We were sharing the grace and he was drumming and beating the table. I went to him, climbing other people's table as I went to him, and took my big cane that I just finished using on the assembly and beat him on his right shoulder. What was I thinking? If you think you have heard it all, it gets worse from here on, so don't go anywhere. In this year, I was now in GS2. So one fateful day, I was playing around with a friend during a short break. If I remember correctly, his name is Bambi Shaye. And we chased each other till we got outside our own classroom. So as I chased this guy outside, he ran faster than me and I stopped and called him stupid boy. I was talking to my friend, but guess the next thing I heard? Someone from nowhere said, "You too, you a stupid boy." From where to where? Show you the way mini. So I entered the class. This big guy was playing with someone, but then anger wouldn't have made me see the size. I asked him gingerly, "Who is the stupid boy?" He said, "You." I asked him again, "Who?" He said, "Me." It was at this point I was already on red. I just turned to Hulk. That doesn't work, but looked for any available weapon at my disposal, saw a stainless or aluminium food flask, took it and threw it towards him. But guess what happened? I missed. 247. My saving grace was that I missed, cause the flask got seriously dented and damaged. And it was later I discovered this guy was a politician's son. So I got punished and beaten on that day, and funny how it was my sister's class. So I got a lot of hate comments from my juniors. Ginger, we don't have time, let's move on to the next thing. So in year 2016, I was in SS3, and again I was the senior prefect boy. You see this thing called power, it's possible to misuse it if you're not really careful. It's crazy. Being in SS3 that year, you were the senior in school, you were over everybody, especially if you were now in boarding school. As a senior, I stayed with JSS1 folks. I left my colleagues in their rooms. One day they messed up. I called all of them together, lined them up and started to beat them, or to belt them, using belt as a verb in this case. There was this guy who was also my school son, and he was one of them, so I decided to belt him more. As per school son, spare the rod and spoil the child. Does that even make sense? I promise you it was not the best decision I have made in my entire life. It was probably one of the worst decisions I've made in my entire life. At the end of it all, his body was full of sores, he was in a lot of pain, and funny how his sister was my best friend. She had a love interest. back then in secondary school. And the thing is that it was close to the midterm break. So even though people tried to escalate it, I mean, my colleagues tried to escalate the matter, like, why would you beat someone this much? And they were right. But since it was midterm break, I ran home thinking I would be able to escape. And I don't know how I didn't think well enough to know that this guy was going home and his parents were going to see these cars. And funny how his parents were folks, they were family, literally family with the owners of the school. I heard when I got home that they were crazy, that they went really mad in, really angry about it. So they reached out to the proprietress being their family member here. I really do not remember the relationship. Then she called me and she asked what happened. Then I knew that was it. That was the end for me. The next day, I told my parents I was going out. I told my mom I was going out. I didn't tell her where I was going. But I just went and I traveled all the way across town to go see them. Okay, I met this other lady friend who lived in the same area with the family. Right? So she took me to their house. And when I got there, they were not home. It was just myself, my lady friend, and my best friend. Okay, so we waited for our parents to come back home. So while we were waiting for them to come back home, the three of us, myself, the lady, and my best friend, we had already planned what to see and what to do to make life easier for me. God bless their souls wherever they are now. I don't know if they will ever get to watch this, but God bless them. So the mom came in. She didn't know me at first, right? As per visitor of her child, so she smiled with me and welcomed me and all of that. Until she was told by a child that this is the guy that beats this person. That was the turning point. Oh my God, I couldn't even say anything. And she told me that the mom told me she was not angry, that she would make sure that her husband doesn't come home to meet me there. In wisdom, I didn't even say anything. I just prostrated and started apologizing. And thankfully, again, to these two friends of mine, both of them joined me on the floor and we were apologizing together. Right. Thinking back at it, it was something really special they did, something really special. And we knew that if mommy was able to calm down, maybe she would have been able to convince dad a little bit, even though not much, but she would have been able to convince daddy. So after a long begging, I don't know how long, but she finally obliged and she promised to persuade dad or speak to him, whatever. So when I go back home, then I had to tell my parents that this is what happened. I did this, I did that, because I wasn't sure of what was going to happen in school. In my secondary school, things like that, they come with so much punishment. It could be suspension, it could be expulsion, something like that. So I was preparing my mind that, in case I get back to school after the midterm and they send me back, that this is what happened, that this is why I ran back home. Okay, so I have to tell them and settle it with them at home. And mommy also, my mom rather, she was thankful that I took that step to go over to her place, to go over to the boys' house and getting started with them first. So now we go back to school and I didn't know what to expect, right? But nothing happened. Then the proprietress called me on that Monday. She was in school, all right? We go back to school on Sunday, but now she called me on Monday and we spoke. She asked me what happened and I explained to her. And she also said that it was good the way I decided to go and meet them. And then little did I know that she had also put in a good word for me, saying I wasn't like that. She was so very fond of me and I appreciate her. That was how I was able to scale through again. At this point, I don't know if I'm going to play 247, but thankfully, we thank God for that. Trust me, I learned about power, leadership, and dispensing power the hard way. When I mean dispensing power, I'm not talking about spiritual power. You want it, take it, that kind of thing. No, I'm talking about power, authority. You get what I mean, right? Okay, I learned about it the hard way, and every position I've been privileged to occupy since then has been nothing short of a breather for me. So let's talk in the comments. What was your secondary school experience with power like? And if you've ever occupied any leadership position, what sponsors you? What has been your core values, or what were your core values? And also, when you make mistakes, how do you correct them? Okay, so I guess that's all for my story. I really do not know. Okay, being that these things did not go in another way, I really do not know how much they could have escalated. Okay, so I'm grateful to God. I am still standing tall and standing strong, right? So I'm grateful to God. Okay, in case you're wondering, I tried to improvise with this video. As I was recording the first part, light went, so I recorded only audio and I said let me just try to see what I can do with the audio, but it was seeming very difficult. I was recording this on Friday and this is Wednesday midnight, right? So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, That's the time I've been using to edit the audio. It's a lot of work, trust me. So I just decided to fall back to audio. So that's why I'm doing this again. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you love it. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are going on a journey, and we are trusting God by God's grace that we can achieve our aim, we can achieve our goal. And thank you for always being a part of this. I do not take it for granted. Thank you for always being a part of this. It means a lot that you keep watching and you keep supporting. Yeah, so I guess that's it. So yeah, this is story time with David. You can call me General D, and I will see you in the next video. Right, peace.